It is okay. We are live? Okay. Hi guys, sorry, we are a bit delayed and our third musketeer will be joining soon. Yeah, not a bad day for the market, Sajeet.
Yeah, means we're seeing some kind of buying. IT is back. Banking is little muted today.
मैंने बोला था, तुमने बोला था कल.
मैंने कल बोला था कि मार्केट
लास्ट
करेक्ट हो गिरेगा, गिरा.
लेकिन मैंने बोला था कि कंटिन्यूड अप ट्रेंड रहेगा.
अप ट्रेंड रहेगा, हाँ.
तो दोनों सच.
हम दोनों का.
Yeah, but ये today is a good thing that ये Nasdaq led IT.
बेसिकली आज नास्डैक में आपका मेटा का नंबर आ रहा है, टेस्ला का नंबर आ रहा है, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट भी आ रहा है आज आई थिंक. सो नेक्स्ट 2-3 दिन में मेगा टेक कंपनी के नंबर्स आ रहे हैं और उसकी वजह से काफ़ी ग्लोबल मार्केट्स में उछाल रहेगा. स्पेशली नास्डैक में तो रहेगा ही रहेगा अनलेस आज ट्रम्प कुछ करे. बट वो आज FOMC मीटिंग भी है. लेट्स नॉट फॉरगेट दैट FOMC मीटिंग में अगर एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि रेट्स अनचेंज रहेंगे. आइए सर, आपकी जगह में हमने
सीनियर्स को राह दिखा रहे हो. Sorry, sir. Anyways, Hersh. So the interesting thing is, one that IT and
FOMC means the commentary of FOMC is something which is going to be washed out for. ट्रम्प कहता है कि वो पावल से ज़्यादा जानता है, बट पावल अगर इसको आज होल्ड करेगा तो देखने लायक होगा कि ट्रम्प क्या कमेंट करता है. So that conflict which everyone is talking about कि between FOMC and president होने वाला है, वो शायद हो जाए.
Yeah. No, I prepared a small morning note, right? So I was preparing this morning note today, and the belief is that Jerome Powell is gonna hold forward.
Yeah.
He's not gonna cut rates right now. So
Irrespective. Even though yesterday's consumer confidence data has come down,
yes.
In January, 4-month low पे.
Yeah, but the Nasdaq surged.
Yeah, but that's primarily on the back of the results which are expected, right?
Also bounce back.
That
sell-off was
yesterday
very
sell-off.
Yeah, Nvidia came up 8%, 9%. 9%, yeah.
So, but the interesting thing though, the part which has confused me today, and because in the morning on the trade setup I mentioned that the safest way to play the bounce, right, is through the bank nifty, and the bounce has happened on the nifty, but the bank nifty has been quiet.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of the RBI
liquidity
bazooka, if you will.
वो ज़्यादा चल नहीं रहा है.
But sir, impact था कल तो मतलब there was material.
वो knee-jerk था because even yesterday Nifty Bank came off the highs.
Everything.
By the end of everyone. But market
came off the lows also as such. The broader markets came off the lows, and then
means small cap, mid cap, all means 3% down थे. I think they came down 1.5%
down.
So because we have like 20 minutes and last 10 minutes we'll take questions, by the way. Yeah?
Yes.
So but very quickly let's figure out what all we talk today, right? So we should talk about ITC Hotels for sure.
Yes.
Right. We should talk about the bank nifty weakness, maybe anything out there per se.
Yeah.
Also we should every day bring about one budget conversation because now in the run up to the budget. Hersh, today I would just love for you to talk a little bit about the insurance piece. Sajeet, if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
Because life insurance, what is expected, which might bring about any reactions in the stocks there.
Yeah.
Hai
So yeah, absolutely.
So we'll talk about that.
Want me to?
Can we?
Yes.
Okay, let's start with that. Then do ITC.
Yeah.
Okay, ठीक है चलो. So of course insurance has been under pressure since the last couple of years. Just quick context. I'm going to give 1 minute context because you've had certain products getting taxed in the hands of the customer. And it's taxed at the maximum marginal rate, which is 30%, or your slab rate, not maximum marginal rate, but at slab rate, and therefore it prevents or it people are more skeptical to buy life insurance policies on the back of that, even though that's not fully reflective on the number in FY25 because that was already reflecting in FY24. In FY23 Q4 we saw a surge in growth because of this reason alone, because from 1st April onwards taxability was going to
get Q4 factor आया था.
Correct. And therefore life insurers since then have been a little bit tepid in that sense. You've not seen a big moves, but something like an SBI Life on the back of that has done well. HDFC Life has been absolutely flat. Now what is the ask of the industry? The industry's ask is bring down your GST rates from 18% to 5%. They are saying not zero because The companies want input tax credit. When you don't get input tax credit, it actually acts as an expenditure for you.
But is that a budget? Is that a budget item?
No, it's not a budget item. That's
It's not a budget item, but it's been widely discussed because of the budget.
18 से तब 5 जब भी आता है, बाकी इंडस्ट्री रेस्टोरेंट्स में भी देखो 18 से 5 आया तो इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट हट गया था.
हाँ, so that is the other angle. Whether input tax credit, but इधर मांग यही है कि input tax credit रखो और
5% करो.
Yeah,
but then this may not be a budget thing.
It's not a budget thing. It's a GST Council thing.
Yes,
so maybe next GST Council
will be discussed in the GST Council for sure. But it's something that has been widely anticipated
about
because the budget
is mention भी नहीं होगा budget speech में.
So I'll tell you something that will get mentioned.
But that's why there is a zing. I mean, basically what you're speaking about is because of these two factors. One is 2 years back these budget announcements, and second is this GST. There's nothing else per se expected from life insurance or general insurance for that matter.
Now, before we talk about ITC Hotels, one thing, our colleague Shrimi broke this piece of news today that there might be some cuts in import duties for high-end US
Steel
imported products. Includes a much spoken about motorbike or whatever, about particular CCs or what have you. I don't need to tell you guys the name. Nobody needs to know the name.
No, but हार्ले डेविडसन की बात कर रहे हैं हम. तो हार्ले डेविडसन अब हीरो मोटो बनाता है इंडिया में.
But any case, that is one thing that is being spoken
about. This was the grouse that he had in Trump 1.
This is being spoken about.
Yeah.
Right? And then specialized steel as well. So there are some 7 or 8 products on which there might be some changes here and there. And all of this is in preparation for the US-India bond homie. So that is one. Now I have a couple of things to say about the results that came out last night and the stocks are doing well. But before that, ITC Hotels.
Yes, ITC Hotels.
क्या करना चाहिए?
क्या करना चाहिए? अगले 2 दिन तक वेट करने के बाद हो सकता है. बिकॉज आई टेल यू व्हाई आई एम सेइंग दैट. आज के डेट में ITC होटल इज पार्ट ऑफ द इंडाइसेस विच बेसिकली मीन्स आपके जितने भी ETFs हैं या इंडेक्स फंड्स हैं उन सबके उस पास पड़ा हुआ ITC होटल. जब तक वो इंडेक्स में रहेगा वो वॉलिटिलिटी रहेगी. जब इंडेक्स से निकलेगा दैट्स द टाइम वी नीड टू नो व्हाट प्राइस इज गोइंग टू सेटल. बट हमने जो पहले भी बोला हुआ है अपने यहाँ पर कि जो प्राइस दिख रहा है 160 to 180 के बीच में वहीं पर जाके लिस्ट हुआ है. मीन्स I know you were saying कि implied value 260 होना चाहिए, पर I was saying नहीं होगा, 160 to 180 होगा. वो 160 to 180 ही हुआ है.
Yeah, this has been for viewer context. This has been part of newsroom debate for at least a couple of days now, and hot debate. And Sajeet sir has won that clearly.
I've not been a part of the last 2 days debate.
हाँ, but
no, you've not been, but there has been. I mean, between
260 सब लोग बोल रहे.
Sajeet sir
and I was saying कि 160 to 180 is the discovered price. उससे ऊपर नहीं जाना चाहिए. And that too because why I say is at 170 odd you are talking about 27 times EV by EBITDA for FY26.
Yes.
And that's a pretty good valuation for hotel companies, you know, in that sense. आप इंडियन होटल्स उससे ज़्यादा वैल्यू पे है, right? Means let's be very clear. But this is a demerged company. It will need a couple of quarters of performance to show. अभी आज तक वो डिवीजन था ITC का, and it's coming with a very clean balance sheet, no debt, 1,500 crores of cash, and a very aggressive plan to reach 200 hotels and 19,000 keys.
Just one very quick question, practical. Somebody has ITC Hotels right now. Wants to buy into a high growth hotel company.
It is high growth.
ITC Hotels or some other hotel?
I think ITC is going to be a high growth hotel company because the changing. See, remember, आज से पहले ITC was a asset based company. Now they're pivoting towards management contracts, which is asset light. When you do asset light, your EBITDA, the number, आपके एक्सपेंसेस जो हैं वो सीधा आपके EBITDA और पैट में आते हैं. सो वो जो ग्रोथ स्टोरी है वो यहाँ से एक्सेलरेट होगी. कितना आएगा, कब तक आएगा, दैट इज समथिंग अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ हाउ दे एबल टू एग्जीक्यूट. बट द काइंड ऑफ गाइडेंस दे हैव गिवन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू FY30, मुझे हमारे पास 200 होटल होंगे, 19,000 कीज होंगे, and many of the new hotels which are coming over the next few are contract management contracts. So it's going to add to your margin. अभी 32-34% margin है. That margin can go up and it will flow down to the PAT. Okay. So that's the estimate as of now. Again, let me caveat it. You need to have a couple of quarters of performance to see how it's working, right? अब आज के डेट में तो क्लीन बैलेंस शीट और क्लीन P&L के थ्रू आ गया है. अब परफॉर्मेंस दिखाएगा इसके आगे. बट it seems given the kind of pedigree it has, given the kind of debt-free company it is as compared to all other hotels जहाँ पर debt है, it has enough cash flows from operations coming in. 600-700 करोड़ का cash flow आएगा साल में minimum, और 1500 करोड़ already है इसके पास. So it has enough cash flows which is coming from operation, and it can take on the growth path till FY 2030.
So why is it that ITC as a group values this at 265 or 26.5 rupees per whatever?
देखो सिंपल वो मैथ जो है ना, वो मैथ थोड़ा सा फ्लॉड है इन दैट सेंस, यू नो. वो मतलब ट्रेडर्स कहते हैं कि अरे तब डीमर्ज हुआ तो 26 रुपये में जाके बंद हुआ. अब 10 ITC शेयर्स के लिए आपको एक मिला, तो 26 रुपये इंटू 10 260 रुपीज़, तो उतना आना चाहिए. बट अगर आप ITC का खुद डॉक्यूमेंटेशन देखोगे जिसमें उन्होंने कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन डाला है, दैट्स 65 रुपीज़ कमिंग टू बी द कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन फॉर पर शेयर विच इज़ देयर. तो 260 रुपीज़ का जो मैथ है ना कि वो अब वो भी इसलिए है क्योंकि बिकॉज ऑफ द डीमर्जर द स्टॉक हैज़ ऑल्सो गॉन अप, राइट. तो वो भी तो है एक फैक्टर, उसको देखना पड़ेगा. बट 65 रुपीज़ का कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन है.
Here, sir, critically speaking,
last question on ITC Hotels.
Yes. But here people have lost money therefore by through this value unlocking.
अगर किसी ने लास्ट एक
I would be a disappointed shareholder. That's what I'm trying to underline. I'm a disappointed shareholder.
Then you have to wait for a couple of years for that to reach 260.
We can move to viewer queries now, by the way. Every short-term shareholder in the last 1 month has automatically become a long-term shareholder. ITC or otherwise. Why you are? So, you know,
no, but even in the medium term, this stock has done nothing technically, and the value unlocking hasn't helped. It's just my opinion.
Okay, there's a खरीद के रखा उसके लिए ठीक है.
There's a query. I mean, Star Health very quickly. So and then I'll come to Ami Organics. I'm going to specifically mention that. But Star Health. Mr. Sekhon is asking why is Star Health struggling.
So Star Health is struggling with regard to growth. It already has a 33% market share. Increasing the market share is proving to be difficult. It's a tough environment cost-wise. The group business is not doing particularly well. There's a lot of competition in the group business, and therefore growth is not coming for it. And when growth does not come, then your expenses continue to remain as is, but you don't have growth on the top line, and therefore your combined ratio, which is a measure of profitability for health insurers and general insurers, does not go down significantly, and therefore your profitability is subdued in that sense, which is exactly what is happening with regard to Star Health.
And now is it there to other health insurance companies also, like Go Digit and all?
This is specific to Star Health because there is limited growth. Go Digit, Acco are all competing, and they're gaining market share, and they're growing fast, and therefore they are seeing a different kind of a P&L take shape versus an existing player virtually having 1/3 of the market share. He will operate in a very different manner. It's like LIC, slow moving, stuff like that. But ideally Star Health was fast moving. The worry is that they just haven't been able to grow on group.
Okay. Now, but remember, there is also the Fed meeting today. So very quickly, viewers, actually nothing will happen in the Fed meet, to be honest. I think so. We need to wait and watch, because I think even for Jerome Powell, it's very difficult to take a decision and say that, politically thinking, right? If I cut rates, then I'm seen as starving to President Trump. If I don't cut rates, or if I sound excessively hawkish, then I'm unnecessarily being hawkish, wherein the economy doesn't necessarily invite that per se. So I don't think the policy per se has anything. The commentary will be the key thing to watch out for. So very quickly that, and viewers, I request, or either I ask, if you have some questions, please ask. But there is one question. Lilliput Eats Cake is asking this: what happens if income tax gets abolished? Well, Lilliput, what will happen is you will wake up off your dream.
Unlikely that will happen.
Income tax is not going to be abolished.
He is not going to happen. Though Subramanian Swamy has been asking for that, but
he's been taking measures ke bank transaction pe 1 to 2%.
Even Trump is talking about it, right? Ki we'll get all the money from tariff, why are you taxing people or something, But India mein nahi aane wala hai. We are a growing country, so we need money to.
Who is to say that? Here's my measure, that income tax becomes only 5% or 2%. You raise GST on all products, you raise capital gains on all products, you raise every other tax, which is collected through mechanisms. ताकि income tax की चोरी
यार
ना हो.
मैं ये बोलता हूँ कि आज के डेट में जो कंपनीज टैक्स रेट देती है 25%, it's much higher, lower than what individuals are paying, right? 34-35%, which 43%. Ultra rich के लिए 43%. तो वो
अब क्या 35 बोल रहे हो?
ये हम तो अपने में बात कर रहे हैं, बट तो वही काम कर दे थोड़ा सा, वही काफी है.
With all the ancestral properties or properties that he's bought in Kerala, property tax Sajeet सबसे ज़्यादा देगा. But anyway, the very quick thing, the other things, just before we move on to other queries and if they come in, a very interesting thing that happened for me was what happened in Ami Organics, because we don't see. And people would be wondering why I'm choosing Ami specifically, because we haven't seen too many specialty chemical companies do really well, right? Very few.
Yes.
Here's a company which has shown a 910 basis points expansion in margins. It's the best ever quarter in the company's history. And I was talking to Varsha. Varsha said that the next quarter is likely to be even better. Their con call was very, very strong. They have guided to CDMO revenues looking even stronger in the times to come.
पर मुझे एक चीज़ बताओ इसमें, I'm playing devil's advocate here. एमी और या बाकी जो स्पेशलिटी केमिकल्स हैं, हम देयर वाज अ टाइम आई थिंक 23 जहाँ पर ये सब के सब भाग रहे थे, सारे स्टॉक्स, सारे और स्पेशलिटी केमिकल्स भाग रहे थे.
No, I mean way back.
मतलब 2-3 साल पहले की बात है. एंड देन इट केम डाउन, कोविड के टाइम के बाद, एंड देन दे वर ऑल वे टॉकिंग अबाउट कि अरे it's going to come back. So is this a comeback of specialty chemicals?
No, I don't think it's entirely the whole bucket, because the results from a lot of other companies, Tattva Chintan Pharma, very shabby numbers, right? But Ami has done well because Ami has been, this CDMO business has done well, and Naresh Patel, the promoter, has said that our pipeline of CDMO projects is progressing well. Several initiatives nearing commercialization, which is a big thing by FY26. So Lawrence ने भी CDMO division very good numbers.
अच्छा किया था.
This
पर
guy
उसके बाद वो कंसर्न आ गया ना, ARV कंसर्न जो है.
Yeah, but I'm just saying CDMO per se seems to be doing well. Now specific pockets wherever you are present could be doing well. So the reason why Ami Organics is up today, or the reason why Suzlon is up today, this street is starved of good numbers, results. आपने अच्छा नंबर दिखाया, the street is
rewarding. That's what we've been discussing ना. अगर आपने returns के बराबर आपके earnings नहीं दिखाए तो street is punishing you.
There's a question on.
You want a higher return, you give me a higher growth.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, there's a question on if any of us have a view on data center stocks. I don't know if
data center Anand Raj is the player, right? And others are just emerging. बाकी सब private players.
Clarification as well, right?
हाँ.
That's what the company. I thought that as a pretty standard clarification.
But you know, the point is that data centers is a niche business in India. There are a lot of private equity which is flowing into data business, which is there, and वो सब के सब अगले 1 या 2 साल में आने वाले हैं मार्केट में. So it's still a niche. अनंत राज का जो पिवट है डेटा सेंटर फ्रॉम रियल एस्टेट टू अ डेटा सेंटर, उसमें थोड़ा सा टाइम लगेगा, 12 से 18 महीने लगेंगे to become exactly like.
But you know, right, that the history behind Anand Raj very quickly is that they've done this pivot also very smartly in that they had ready-made buildings.
Yes.
They were not getting sold per se.
Exactly. So
they have chosen to fortify the buildings in a way that it becomes data center ready.
Yeah.
And therefore they have very smartly done this. So the stock had a rally because of this DeepSeek thing. It's come off. It will maybe go up again.
But DeepSeek से data center business will not go out of. It will basically bring down the cost of operation for data center.
Competitiveness बढ़ जाएगा.
Competitiveness नहीं, data centers, see data centers में क्या है? You're talking about high-end GPUs, you're talking about excessive power. You know, अगर GPUs efficient GPUs आएंगे, cost उसका GPUs का कम होगा, तो power consumption भी कम होगा. So data center as a business metrics now starts becoming little better in terms of profitability. That's my assessment. I mean, you have been very closely looking at it, but मेरा assessment ये है कि अगर आपका cost structure कम हो रहा है उसकी वजह से, आपको NVIDIA नहीं चाहिए, आपको कोई DeepSeek का चाहिए या किसी और का आपको GPUs चाहिए, और it's coming at 95% discount to the existing high-end rates and is giving the same output or better output, then you'll rather go for that than this one, right? So in that sense, your cost structure becomes much more efficient. But use of and need of data centers are going to go up.
Yeah, but I think the belief was that if the quantum of data center requirement might go down because there is a fewer GPUs, with fewer chips, with lesser power, if DeepSeek has been able to do this and other people do it, then the quantum of data centers required might not be that much as earlier believed. And it is, see, a lot of it was built on, castles in the air, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of hypothesis about the future. So that's the point. But not to say that Anandraj is a castle in the air.
Yeah, no.
They put up data centers, they are ready to go, etc. and stuff like that. Will the guidance come off? I think when we speak to the management,
we will get to know that because castles in the air is like, US power companies were running up because power requirement will go up for data centers. That was the kind of
thing.
Exactly. That's not here because India is still an emerging country and it requires a lot of data. And because of data localization, we need a lot of data centers in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yes, correct. Exactly.
So, ऊपर से अगर थोड़ा सा कम होगा, हम अभी तक ऊपर पहुंचे भी नहीं हैं.
Correct. Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
Or we have Kalyan Jewelers. Someone is asking Q3 results. Any thoughts before it? I would be keen to know a commentary.
Do you have a view?
I'd be keen to know commentary, and I'm sure lots of questions will be asked to them.
क्या लग रहा है?
Yeah, so to my mind, that from a stock perspective, I'm not commenting on the business. But the stock perspective, it has been for the last maybe 10 days a falling knife.
Yes.
And typically, catching a falling knife is risky. Now, I would say, purely from a stock perspective, that if the market was at 26,200, 26,500 and everything was inflated, sure, go out and take a risk with a falling knife as well, right? Probably Kalyan Jewellers could do very well in the next 12 months. I have no idea. All right. But right now, the market is giving you fabulous opportunities without any kind of issues surrounding them. Maybe make use of that.
Correct. I agree. There are better bets.
For example, I'm not recommending a stock, but for example, right? Suzlon came down from 90 to 50 and came out with a blockbuster set of numbers and strong commentary. Study that and see whether it is worth buying or not.
Where is the demand coming from? That's the best thing. They have to supply high-end turbines going forward, and wind there is a shift from small size turbines to bigger size turbines, because
all of them
are doing it. So look at what Suzlon is doing to do that.
Exactly.
So आपको per megawatt, अगर आप पहले एक टर्बाइन 1.2 या 2.4 के हिसाब से करते थे, अभी 4 और 5 की बात हो रही है, क्योंकि लैंड रिक्वायरमेंट इतना कम होता जा रहा है, लैंड मीन्स सोर्सिंग कम होता जा रहा है. तो आपको if you need to meet that 500 gigawatt target of 2030, you need to have wind coming in and higher end turbines which is coming in. So,
and while we are on power, you could also look at transmission. Power Grid, Adani Transmission, some good names in the transmission space. Power Grid was available at maybe 6-7% dividend yield maybe a year or so back. I think it's come off from the highs.
Those, right?
Yeah, so there are better opportunities. Point is that I'm just quickly
उसमें फिर रेडा भी आ जाता है आपका, फिर IRFC भी आ जाता है, फिर आपका REC आ जाता है, PFC आ जाता है.
4% dividend yield on Power Grid even now. So
ये सारे के सारे companies are putting up assets on the ground, and
they've seen some good corrections.
Okay, Harsh, you may want to move.
Yeah.
But we'll just wrap this up after one last answer. But you may move, Hersh, if you have to, because I think there is the newsroom is seeking you.
Okay.
So that can happen. Just one last question that is coming is
we can put back this.
Oh yeah, this is Hersh. Now the last thing, your view on Trent and Titan growth prospects and what level of premium valuation you feel it deserves and what makes it unique from its competitors. I think I don't know, Sajeet,
both of them have fallen from the top, right? But it's still at a premium to others.
Yes.
Titan भी premium पे है और Trent भी premium पे है. It's just that the band has come down a bit, and वो band अभी अगला cycle तक उसी band में रहेगा मेरे हिसाब से, because consumption, demand, urban, Titan and Trent both will have that impact of consumption and demand, urban demand जो आएगा उसका. They will grow at a good rate. They will get a premium over all the players. But जो high flyer P उनको मिलता था, उससे अब वो थोड़ा सा करेक्ट होकर उस बैंड पे रहेंगे मेरे ख्याल से. मीन्स उससे नीचे मीन्स it's not going to have a rock bottom kind of thing, but they still premium plays and they will still show a growth. The growth is not as per our expectation. That's what is going to happen.
Yeah, at some point of time, if they continue doing well, because see, in Trend's case, Star Bazaar is still to contribute meaningfully, right? If that were to happen and all of that, then you never know. Till now, they have not disappointed too much on growth. Even Titan, for that matter, right? So many years on, and they're still about 15% of the organized market. So, in some sense, they deserve to trade at a premium because the companies have done so well over the years. What will happen in the near future? I think a better sense would come in after Q4, once the managements give commentary about whether the near-term growth headwinds pinches are pinching them also along. So we need to wrap up though. But
yeah, in the case of Trend, just to add, and what I have been hearing is, now you have the west side which is there, then you have the Zudio. Now they are coming out with a premium and stores as well. वो उसका प्लान क्या है वो आने वाला है आई थिंक सो दे आर ट्राइंग टू ब्रिज ऑल द गैप्स इन दैट सेंस
I mean, they've gotten it right.
Yeah.
You have to admit.
their supply chain is fabulous in providing all those things
So it deserves a multiple. I think both of them deserve a premium. Trent and Titan over the nearest competitors by virtue of the quantum of years that they've managed to surprise or deliver numbers per se and have a bit of a moat. I mean, people think Tanishq when they want to go out and go to a store, right, per se. So therefore, I think both Sajeet and me agree that is...
And both of them have good governance. So, वो premium तो मिलता ही है.
Solid. Tata brand name as well attached with it. So, all of that. But yeah, this is lovely. Thanks so much for tuning in, all of you. And yeah, do keep on tuning in. Send in more questions so that we can try and take some of the questions tomorrow as well. So if there are questions out there, even on the chat window, we'll try and take some of the questions tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
पता है वो